When we look back at ancient texts filled with multi-headed serpents and churning oceans, it is easy to write them off as colorful superstitions. But beneath the layers of myth lies a rigorous attempt to explain the mechanical laws of the universe. We find one of the most comprehensive of these systems in the Vishnu Puran. As you can see on the cover here, the text centers around Vishnu, depicted with 4 arms, holding the symbols of his cosmic authority. This text is part of a living tradition. It requires deep, sustained physical practice to absorb. It is a vast architectural blueprint of existence that scholars and devotees commit to memory, reading its thousands of verses to understand the world's underlying logic. This diagram shows how that logic maps the scale of cosmic time. Time here is broken down into 4 distinct eras, or yugas. The cycle begins with the Satya Yuga, an era of total stability, spanning over 1.7 million human years. As the timeline progresses through the Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yugas, the duration of each era shrinks, and the virtue within the universe steadily degrades. And this 4-age cycle is just a fraction of a larger structure. 1,000 of these yuga cycles make up a single day in the life of the creator god, Brahma, a period called a kalpa. Brahma's total lifespan stretches to 100 divine years, a number that exceeds 311 trillion human years. With a timeline stretching across hundreds of trillions of years and a built-in cycle of decay where systems naturally break down, how does the universe survive? What stops everything from collapsing before Brahma's century is up? The text answers this with the figure of Vishnu himself. He acts as the universe's self-correcting logic. As the preserver, his role is to engineer systemic restorations whenever chaos threatens to crash the timeline. The Vishnu Puran illustrates this preservation process through specific crises. Take the story of sage Durvasa. Feeling insulted by the king of the gods, the sage cursed the deities. Almost immediately, the gods lost their vitality, and heaven was drained of its prosperity and wealth. Without the gods' power holding the system together, entropy accelerated. Demonic forces seized the opportunity, overthrowing the celestial hierarchy and plunging the universe into severe imbalance. To fix this, Vishnu prescribed an engineering solution. He instructed the weakened gods to form a strategic, temporary alliance with their bitter enemies, the demons, to execute a massive shared labor project. They wrapped the giant serpent Vasuki around Mount Mandara, using the mountain as a massive churning rod. Together, gods and demons violently churned the cosmic ocean to extract the raw materials needed to reboot the system. This intense mechanical friction forced the ocean to yield its deepest resources. The churning produced the goddess Lakshmi, restoring wealth to the universe, followed by the nectar of immortality, which the gods consumed to regain their lost power. Order is not an accident. Maintaining the universe requires the deliberate, strenuous churning of chaotic forces to extract the exact elements needed to reestablish equilibrium. This same logic scales down to human ecology. The Puran describes a period under the tyrannical king Vena, where the breakdown of righteous governance led the earth itself to stop producing food. The soil turned barren, and the population faced starvation. The sages intervened by executing the corrupt king. Then, in a ritualized echo of the cosmic ocean, they literally churned Vena's right arm. From this localized friction emerged a new, righteous leader named Prithu. Prithu's immediate problem was the starving population. He aimed his weapons at the earth, personified as the goddess Prithvi. Fearing his power, she took the form of a cow and fled, but eventually surrendered, agreeing to yield her resources if Prithu would do his part. Prithu transformed the landscape into a functional agricultural system. He leveled mountain ranges and uprooted hills to clear space for permanent towns and trade routes. This organized action requires a fixed access. In another story, a young boy named Dhruva achieves such intense unwavering focus through his devotion that Vishnu grants him a permanent position in the sky. He becomes the North Star, the single stable point around which the entire celestial sphere rotates. Whether it is a boy anchoring the stars or a king leveling the ground, earthly survival demands a leader who can forcefully align human activity with the planet's physical potential. From the churning of the cosmos to the tilling of the soil, the text makes a clear argument. Balance does not happen on its own. It is engineered per calculated labor, strategic alliances, and strict adherence to duty. According to the Puranic timeline, we are currently living deep within the Kali Yuga. It is an era defined by the exact entropy, systemic friction, and resource scarcity detailed in the ancient texts. Against this backdrop of continuous decay, the structures of tradition serve a highly practical purpose. They act as the massive, immovable anchors required to weather inevitable shifts in the system. The Vishnu Puran functions as a survival manual for a universe locked in an infinite cycle of collapse and rebirth. It teaches us that true progress lies in understanding the mechanical laws of the cosmos and acting to preserve order.